The diversion tactic. You know, communication is challenging. People are complicated and people all have their own issues. And when we have difficult relationships with dysfunction and problems, makes it even harder. Proverbs 15:5 says, "A fool finds pleasure in evil conduct, but a man of understanding delights in wisdom." Proverbs 23 says, "It is a man's honor to avoid strife, but every fool is quick to quarrel." So what do we do when people use the diversion tactic? And I think you're going to know that you've experienced this and you're going to have some ahas here and think about this. And I've seen my kids do that from the time that they were little all the way up through my husband do it. So each of us has our own side. We're in communication, in life, in relationships. We're naturally trying to protect ourselves and have people understand where we're coming from and what's going on with us. So there is some element of that where we're kind of fending for ourselves and fighting for our own interests, and that's okay. But when we're trying to communicate and somebody's using the diversion tactic, what they're doing is they're purposefully diverting you off the topic that you're bringing up so that it doesn't have to be dealt with. It's something that they don't want to deal with. They don't want to hear your truth. They don't want to look at themselves. They don't want to tell you that they've got a part in this. They don't want to admit what was going on. They want to divert. They want to, it's like diversion is when you're going down a road and all of a sudden there's a roadblock because maybe they're doing construction or something, or there was an accident, and they divert you to a different road, a different direction to go around what that problem was up there that you couldn't go through. Well, that's what somebody does when they're diverting you in a conversation. When you bring up a subject that they don't want to talk about, they're going to divert. Now, what do they do that? Okay, they do it by changing the subject. They just start talking about something else, completely off topic. It might be about what they had for lunch at work today, or it might be something that happened yesterday, just completely changing the subject. Or, and this happens a lot, they might bring up the past. Well, you did this before. This isn't the first time. I'm not the only one that did that. Well, what about when we went to your mother's? Well, what about the first 10 years of our marriage when you spent too much money, if you bring up a financial concern now? What about the fact that you quit your job? So that's bringing up the past and trying to get you to start arguing about the past and defending yourself and talking about that instead about what's going on right now. They might blame you. Well, I did it because of you. If you weren't so blank, 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 then I wouldn't have had to do blank, blank, blank. If you had done this, then I wouldn't have done that. They might, in all kinds of different ways, try to make it your problem what is that you're bringing up to them that is their problem or their issue or something that they need to look at, something that you're saying is bothering you. All of a sudden, they're going to make it your fault. They might focus on how you're hurting them by the fact that you're bringing it up. Like it's mean for you to tell them what they're not doing as a dad or a mom, or how they're falling short, or what's bothering you. Maybe they're going to say, you know, that's not nice of you to tell me that, or I don't like it when you criticize me, or you shouldn't criticize me, or I've got too much stress going on right now for you to bring up your problems. So they're going to blame you for even talking about it. Maybe they're going to focus on how you're saying it. Well, you're mean. You said it mean. You could have said it nicer. You were upset. You were angry. You were hurtful when you said it. You were too intense. So they're going to focus not on what you're saying, but how you're saying. Again, diverting you and getting you to start defending yourself for how you're saying and just maybe start arguing about that. And then all of a sudden, what happens? You're not talking about it, what it was that you brought it up. They're going to accuse you of doing it. Well, you do it too. Well, you're not perfect. You've got problems. I'm not the only one. And all of a sudden, you're going to be defending yourself when you were talking about them. Maybe they're going to ridicule your truth. That's stupid. You're sensitive. You're always upset about something. You've always got a problem. You're never happy. And so all of a sudden, you're feeling like you're the bad guy for bringing it up. What about denying it happened? It never happened. That's not what happened. You're making it up. You got it wrong. You know, you're stupid for your feelings. That doesn't make sense. So all of a sudden, it's going to be your fault. Maybe they're going to label you. You're just a nag. You're always unhappy. You're miserable. You're a baby. You're just, you know, always having a pity party. You're doing all this stuff. So all of a sudden, they're labeling you, which is keeping you from talking about it. What's the purpose of this? All diversions have one purpose in mind, regardless of how it's done. It's to steer you in a different direction. If you want to talk about X and they don't want to talk about it because they don't want to deal with it, they don't want to do it, they're going to divert you over here onto something else, anything that works, so that you're not talking about X. They don't have to answer about X. They don't have to have a discussion about that. They don't have to be accountable. This person can basically get you to go over here, and all of a sudden, your original issue that you want to be brought up is never dealt with. That is the purpose of the diversion tactic. So what do? Don't divert. Don't be diverted, okay? You ignore what they're doing. Don't respond to the diversion. Don't defend. Don't explain. Stay back on what it is that you brought it up and restate it again many times if you have to. Say, that's not the issue today. This is what I want to talk about. This is the issue. I'll talk about that later. This is the issue. So you're not to be diverted. You restate it. Even if you can't make the person listen to you, and you know what? You can't necessarily make somebody listen to you. Even if you can't make them respond, even if you can't make the person deal with what you said, at least if you're not diverted, you're not going to be confused about what happened. You're not going to make yourself a part of the problem, and you won't have wasted energy responding to whatever diversions they put up there for just the purpose of getting you off. So you're off of the subject. So you're going to at least feel good about what you did. You're going to be clear when you walk away. Oh, this person is not willing to address this issue. Walking away with that clarity and that understanding will give you the ability to make choices for yourself. Since this person will not deal with this, what are my options? And then you'll be able to make better decisions for yourself. Okay? Recognize a diversion tactic. Don't be diverted. Thank you for watching this video on Change My Relationship.